happy holidays, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello.
Come on in, have a seat, grab some hot chocolate or whatever warm beverage you want, and join us for this week's episode of the Cluster Puck Podcast, part of the MHRT Network here at Center Ice. I am Nick, joined me, as always, by Brit. How's it going, Brit?
It is going very well. It is horrifically cold and windy here. I mean, it is like the epitome of just awful Midwest winter right now. And I have the hiccups. So basically,
Oh, there
it's a
you
hard
go.
life, Nick.
There you go.
How are you doing?
I'm just getting over an illness myself. But as far as cold, it's here in Utah. No snow, not cold. It's
Didn't you guys have an easy winter last winter too?
What's that?
Didn't you guys have an easy winter last winter?
Yeah, I mean I don't know. It just feels like as I've aged, winter has shifted 3 months, I swear. Because like when I was a kid, it would snow on Halloween.
It goes late. That's what I always to ask my husband is like, we would always end up being whatever we were going to be for Halloween. And then at some point we would transition into we're now snowbirders for Halloween so that we could wear winter coats.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it seems like winter goes until June.
And just and no snow in the forecast either. So it looks like we're going to be having a green Christmas, which
not bad. You'll pay for it later. It's coming.
No, we will. Snow will come in January and then not leave until May. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. Knowing our luck here in Utah.
That's like the dog days for sure. Yeah. That's why we need to move to Colorado.
That's true. Where it feels like seasons are seasons still there.
Yeah. Because when we were in Colorado for our trip, we were wearing sweaters and it was like,
I remember.
Wasn't it like February? Or was it early November?
No. Oh, when was that?
Because that weather was perfect.
Wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay.
March.
That's
or
dream weather.
Like that. And I remember we wore coats because it was windy. It was pretty windy.
Yeah, we were getting pelted by sand downtown, blowing from the construction.
I remember that. We were at that.
I still get sand out of the.
We were at that Italian restaurant, and all three of us could still taste it in our mouths. Like, it wasn't fun.
It's like embedded in my coat, my sacred Nordiques coat. Random little sand bits just fall out occasionally.
Yeah, it was windy.
That weather at the Rockies game, I think that was about as perfect as perfect.
That was great weather. Yeah, that was good weather.
So nice.
But
just too bad we got to watch everybody shit the bed. Other than the Rockies, hilariously.
That's true. It was a great weekend. It was a wonderful weekend.
Sorry, I'll stop blabbering.
No, you're good. You're good.
You'll be able to talk about the weather someday too.
I've already gotten to that age. All right. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT Network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, Brit. Well, we're still winning. And that's it. That's the show. Thanks for everyone for joining us.
Exactly. Avalanche kick ass, and that's basically all.
That's kind of just been the MO for the Avs over the last I don't know, since the beginning of the season is win and move on. Like I don't know what else to say.
Already, I've overcome my anxiety with them being too good because they've maintained being good long enough that I could work through it mentally. So I feel like they might pop up and surprise me with a little slump here soon just to spite me because I finally accepted that it's not a fluke when you're literally almost halfway through the season and still just dominating every single other than the power play. They are truly just elite beyond.
Oh yeah. And we'll talk about that power play in just a second, but yeesh. Yeah. So I guess before we get into the main topic of discussion as far as why this episode is titled Expectation and Reality, and I'll pose the question obviously to you, Brit, and as well as you, the viewers that are watching this episode. Let's kind of do a quick recap of the 3 games that happened. 3 different wins, but wins nonetheless. None of them required any extra time. None of them, anything to that extent.
Yeah.
They were all very unique in their own right. So let's kind of talk about them first. First one is against the Florida Panthers. You play host to them, and you beat them pretty handedly, 6-2. Okay. Now, was 6-2 kind of the...
Yeah, that was...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I'm breaking up a little bit. I don't mean to interrupt you. I keep
you're good. Go
thinking
ahead.
that it's... That was kind of a shocker. And granted, the Panthers are a shell of their Stanley Cup winning Panthers, but it still is kind of a statement game to just whomp the defending Stanley Cup champions, because generally they can make it through any injury, which they're missing Matt Tkachuk, they're missing Barkov. We didn't play Bobrovsky, so it's certainly not. I mean, it's like us the year after our cup, where it's like, you're not playing the Avs. People are so proud to beat us, but it still is. It's worth something.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's, I think that you bring up a good point with no Barkov, no Tkachuk. Obviously those 2 kind of are the meat and potatoes of the team. And that's not to say that without them, they're useless. Right. But there is that difference.
That's a big part of heart and soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's,
if you've learned anything, that means...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, just that if this team has learned anything in the last 2 years, especially when you see how things changed with the return of Gabriel Landeskog, it's that glue guys and heart and soul guys are far more valuable than their tangible, points on the stat sheet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Florida is getting that taste right now. And so, right now, the goal scoring kind of went as followed. Sam Malinsky actually gets the first goal, his 3rd of the season.
Man, he was shooting it.
Yeah, it was a great shot. Awesome to see him actually still stay on the scoreboard. Been very impressed actually with his defense and his playmaking ability as of late. So I think it's about time he gets rewarded for a goal. Let's see. After that,
way into an extension long-term with the Avs and a solidified roster spot, or is he working his way into being a very valuable trade asset come deadline?
That's tough, because obviously you want to keep him. It's going to be the question of
kind of him or Gerard
in favor more. Yeah, because you're exactly right with Gerard, and heck, maybe even Brett Burns they're gonna try and re-sign him.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So then Noah Gregor gets on the board, tying the game at 1. And then right in the last about minute and a half, Brock Nelson gets a goal. And I said this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember which, but I think it's been kind of a trend for the Avs to score in the last 2 minutes of a period rather often, at least 1 or 2 games a week. They have done that.
Weird though, because they're not ever that game, I think it was the last game that we won, was the first third period comeback we'd have all year, which was crazy because it does seem like we are scoring in the opening minutes and the final minutes really, really, really often. And I guess they have been we're not like reading that wrong, but I guess they just haven't been comeback or dire goals. We're just genuinely very rarely behind in the third period is really what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I was going to kind of allude to that and just during that Kraken, while we talk about that Kraken game. So second period, all Avalanche. Gavin Brindley gets a goal. Nathan McKinnon gets a goal. Arturi Lehkonen gets a goal. And by that point, this game was out of hand. In fact, in my opinion, as soon as Gavin Brindley got that third, I was kind of like, listen, Florida may put something together, but they'll get sloppy and we'll get
that Simpson meme. He's already dead.
Yeah, it just felt like the game was done, and by the end of the thing, third period, Landeskog gets a goal to put it at 6-1. And then I would say garbage time, even though there was still 7 minutes left. Samoskevich does get a goal to put it 6-2, but by then, kind of who cared? I don't mean to say that as an offensive way or anything, but it was like the game was done.
Yeah.
Florida had checked out, like, so.
Did you listen to that Wingmen podcast, the one with the Kachuk brothers? I don't know if you listened to it at all, but just it was really interesting. They gave some insight. They were talking about like road trips and like the hardest road trip, and Brady was saying how they have to play a back-to-back hitting Utah and then Colorado, and Matthew Kachuk just like went off, and he's like, oh, and he literally said it. I can't believe he said it. He's like, you better beat Utah because you're not beating the Avs. And he kind of went on like a little rant about how absolutely insanely good the Avs are, which is interesting to hear, like a player from another team just absolutely astounded by how good this team is. And he just said that they're no fun to play, like they're impossible to play against. Like, it was a pretty big testament to this team hearing, and Kachuk's not really one who I think throws out a lot of compliments like that. Like, he's not a super, so it was interesting. So the Panthers definitely felt some kind of way after they left that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I, to be fair, on those back-to-backs, I mean, I was at that Mammoth and Panthers game. Funny story about that. I got my tickets upgraded, and so we sat 3 rows from the glass from that one. But needless to say, they played. Sorry, say that one more time.
What was the ending score for that game? Utah's in a weird place right now.
They are. It's, I don't know. But the final score on that one, I believe, was 4-3, and the Panthers did score with less than a minute remaining to take the lead, and that was kind of all she wrote. But but they did play Bobrovsky against Utah, and so Daniil Tarasov did get the start against the Avalanche, and I do think that was kind of the telltale sign of a scheduled loss. So. That's it. Yep, you're exactly right.
I hate that term, but if you're going to schedule a loss, a back-to-back with the Avs on the second half is definitely.
And that's exactly my thought, because it was like, well, it could either be you put in Tarasov against Utah and run a higher risk of losing that game, which, based off of how Tarasov kind of played, Utah probably would have won, and then you run another risk of putting Bobrovsky in against Colorado and losing, so then you'd lose 2 games in a row, versus if you put in Bobrovsky, pull out a much more plausible win, which they did, and then just get your scheduled loss out of the way.
That Bob's put on in the last 2 years. I mean, Bob has had some serious mileage, so they have to be more conscious than ever of how hard they're playing him.
I think so. I think you're exactly right. But nonetheless, they skate away with a 6-2 win, the Avalanche do. And then we go on to the Predators, which the entire time I was watching this game, I just said, for the love of all that is holy, win the damn game. Like, I don't care how, just win the stupid game. Oh my gosh.
It feels like
they did.
It's always games that we kind of fumble with, though. It's these ones that just feel like there's absolutely no reason to be still having to work to win it. It's just weird. Yeah. I have a question for you about someone on the Panthers when you're ready to get to a point. It's been weighing on me.
Okay. So with the Predators game, Nathan MacKinnon, in less than a minute and a half, to extend a streak, by the way, of the Avalanche scoring in the first 90 seconds of a game, gets a goal. Mosier goes crazy. We all go crazy.
Oh, I love him so
much. And then the depth, in my opinion, kind of takes over the rest of this game.
Yeah.
As far as the scoring is concerned.
The best thing about this season, the depth production is truly the most wonderful part of this team, in that it's not like we're the Oilers, where if Connor McDavid and Draisaitl fall off, we're donezo. And this game was like such a shining example of that.
It was. Jack Drury gets his 5th goal of the season. Nashville does respond. He did. Yeah. Nashville does respond with a goal from their own, power play goal from Jonathan Marchessault. Then in the second period, Victor Olofsson has the lone goal, which, again, good to see. He's still able to score goals.
Yeah, he is. Yes. It was interesting that they put on and in against us.
An interesting choice, but I figured they would at some point, you know?
Yeah. But Soros, man, we played them one other time this season, correct? And if I recall, Soros, he kicked ass against us. Like,
he did a very good job.
Am I mixing games up, or I'm trying to think. If I remember right, he was like very, very dominant last time we played them, wasn't he?
He did okay. I mean, I think what was that final score? In fact, it was not that long ago.
He's one of the goalies that kind of has our number.
They did beat us in shootouts 4-3. Oh, that's right, because it was that really awkward. Blackwood comes in for the last 30 seconds of the shootout.
Oh,
did not do anything.
That was really close together.
That was the thing. But yeah, Saros was in that one.
Yeah, thank God there's not shootouts in the playoffs. I can say that for sure.
Boy, howdy, that'd be the worst thing on planet Earth.
Yep.
So then third period, Nichushkin gets an empty net goal with about 3.5 minutes left, I'd say. By then, the game's well put away. Nashville does get a second one, but it kind of was...
Yeah, it was kind of just whatever.
Didn't really sway the needle all that much. And the Avs finally are able to play the game against Nashville I've been begging them to do since 2 weeks ago when they played them the first time. And it's not for, your 2 wins and a shootout loss against them, but it just feels like every time you go and play Nashville, it's kind of like Chicago or something like that, where it's like, for some reason, it is just tough to play against them. And they at least get this one in a dominant-ish fashion. Yep. Okay. So that was that game. And then we'll move on to now the most recent one that happened.
I want to ask you.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and
ask you a question about that. All I have been thinking about lately, I'm still holding on to the slight little hope of Crosby, because who knows with this trade how the Penguins will either flounder or suddenly go otherworldly if Skinner does that. But if we were to not get Crosby, how do you feel about a Ryan O'Reilly acquisition as a true, a no joke thing? Because I have been weighing it so hard. I love Ryan O'Reilly so much. And he's I feel like he kind of has a little bit of a sour taste just because he was a part of the Duchesne era. But I just can't imagine what having another leader like him in the locker room could do. I respect him so much. And I think he's absolutely miserable there. Do you think that that's something that you would like to see? Or even an option, or even something that would be necessary?
I think, in fact, I'll answer all 3 of those questions that you posed right there. Do I want it? Do I think it'll happen? Is it necessary? Would I want it to happen? Sure. Yeah. I mean, if the Avs could somehow find a way to get Ryan O'Reilly for a good deal, whether if it's they just, Nashville's like, listen, you're not happy here, we'll just pawn you off for cheap, so to speak. Not that he's worth that, but just to say bye, then yeah, sure, you bet, I'd take him. Do I think
as a rental?
Exactly. Do I think the Avalanche will go after that? No, unfortunately, I don't.
No.
And
sure if
the only reason why I say that, Brit, is because I don't see a place where O'Reilly fits in the depth of the forwards.
Because that's what I was thinking. I thought he also played wing, which it always amazes me that you'd think that an NHL player would be able to maybe not play their best, but that they would be capable of fluidly moving even from defense to forward. It feels like you should be able to put Makar on the wing and be fine, but it must not work well because we saw what's his face?
Kind of my only thought is
was one of the very few that it's like a big deal.
I mean, so Ryan O'Reilly is a center. And that's the hard part is like, so you'd be putting him behind McKinnon, behind Nelson, behind O'Connor when he comes back. So he'd be fourth line center at best.
I think he would be third line. And I think that O'Connor would be, I think that it would move people down from the third line down.
Potentially. Yeah. So O'Connor would go down to fourth line. Which would make for a really spanking good third line. Don't get me wrong, but I guess the other question is, would O'Reilly be okay with that less playing time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm positive that at some point he'll have to move up. Doesn't it feel inevitable that we'll lose like a Nelson or someone at some point, especially if he could play wing too, that there would be room. I mean, it's got to happen. We've had far too much luck so far with injuries this year. Or maybe that's just the pessimist in me.
Yeah, I got to knock on wood here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question because could it be the year of a Ryan O'Reilly reunion? Would it make sense, or are the Avs kind of happy where they are? I mean, it would definitely be a trade deadline acquisition. You were right about that. But it's the question of, does it make sense if the team is just firing on all cylinders?
I just like that
wild card piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He just plays such good D. I mean, he's one of the best two-way centers in the league. And I don't know. I've just been wondering if I've been hyper focusing on it, but I love him so much.
It's a good thing to hyper fixate on if you're going to hyper fixate on something.
Yeah. Well, he's won series, which to me is like, that's like the most telling award, like individual award that a person can win, when a person is acknowledged for being the best defensive forward. I mean, that's such a huge deal, but I don't know. We probably need a defenseman more than that. Or maybe we don't need anything. It's just not.
I'll tell you this, Brit. You just keep your eyes on the Sidney Crosby star, okay? You just keep doing that, and I will cheer you on from the sidelines.
Yeah,
I will. And again, if it does happen, we will dedicate an entire episode. I'm saying this in front of God, witnesses, and everyone. We will make an entire episode where you can roast me.
Oh man, I'm gonna come on here and waste it.
About how you told me so, about how you were right, and I will just sit there and accept it all. I promise that. I promise we
wouldn't even need to gloat. The gloating I'd just skip the gloating straight to pure joy.
Oh, see, that'd be the issue. I would need you to gloat. Because the lack of gloating would make me just feel more miserable. I feel
the silent gloating.
It's the silent gloating where it's like, nope, you got say something to me, spit in my face, like say something.
I'm thinking it. That's fair.
All right. Okay.
I've been thinking already a whole lot because the Preds they're just about ready to hit like fire sale. So I'd imagine they'll have a lot for sale.
I think they actually might this season. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on now to this Kraken game. The Avalanche win this game 5-3. Okay, but it was not always the score that, this is one of those, the score does not tell the game type things. The Avs did not have the lead and the Kraken kind of caught up. No, the Avs had to get to a tie. What?
Yeah, they had to work way too hard
They had the lead, they lost it, then they got behind, then they caught up. That's kind of how it went.
Yep. And let me say, them booing Makar, they have made themselves the enemy. I hate the Kraken's fans at this point. Them booing Makar makes me want to puke.
Oh my gosh,
they just genuinely forget that they ended Darren Helm's career and broke Andrew Cogliano's neck. Like, I just think that they're
even bother to pay attention to that this time. I told myself I was going to try and listen for that, but I never did. Oh, I can't believe I didn't do that. So they did boo him, huh?
I them. Yep,
so I guess that's just going to be a thing, huh?
Like the second puck touch of the game. They're idiots. Being mean to our sweet little baby.
That's the beauty.
There's a lot of people that you can hate, and I think Nathan MacKinnon is certainly one of them. I think there's a lot of hateable people, but Cale Makar, idiots.
All right.
He's a saint.
He is. Okay, so Arturi Lehkonen does get the first goal of the game about halfway through the first period, and the Avs are looking like they might already be kind of doing what the Avalanche do, right?
Yeah.
They get a goal, they grind it out, they build the lead. Exactly, right? Well, second period hits, and this one was very much Kraken takeover. Shane Wright gets his 6th goal of the season. Jordan Eberle, the guy gets
who literally cannot score a goal to save his effing life.
Yeah, but he gets the goal because, of course, it's against the Avs when people suddenly turn red hot against you.
Right, they find their groove that they've lost since the minute they were drafted.
Exactly. Jordan Eberle gets his 10th of the season. Sam Girard does stop the bleeding, finally getting a goal for the first time this season. So nice. Oh my gosh. And what a great goal that was, by the way.
A lot of really great assists, but it was nice to see him just very dominant. I mean, that was all Sammy G. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And he put a lot of good La Tournodes together in that game. Like he did a very good job in this game particularly.
Well I was very impressed, regardless of what people think.
Yes. But then right at the end of the period, about 30 seconds left thereabouts, Chandler Stevenson for the Kraken gets a goal. They are now up 3-2 going into the third period, which you alluded to earlier, Britt. The first time this season the Avs have gone into a third period trailing, or at least the first time in like 2 months or something like that. Like it was.
It's like impossible. Which, I mean, that's an incredible stat. We should be happy, but we also shouldn't be down to the Kraken ever.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just awful. They're truly so underwhelming, and they have floundered every aspect. Their GM, I'd imagine, has to be fired here soon. But
yeah,
when you consider the defense and talent,
here was the uptick, though, Britt. To kind of go off of something that you just mentioned, as far as awful is concerned, third periods for the Kraken have not been good as of late. And this goes to show it was all Avalanche the rest of that way. MacKinnon, Nelson, MacKinnon again. Granted, it was an empty net.
Yeah.
But they lost that lead. We tied up. We take the lead.
We scored a power play goal, didn't we?
Yeah, Brock Nelson got a really nice looking power play goal off of like an ancient fake. Like it was interesting. But either way, Avs skate away with this one, 5-3. Interestingly enough, though, so like I said before, there was the game against the Panthers where it was yours the entire way. There was the game against Nashville where you did have to keep it tight, but it wasn't going to be something that if you just, played your game, you'd get away. But then there was this one against the Kraken where comeback win.
Yeah. And it felt like it took a full effort for it. Like it just was bizarre.
It did. And that's the interesting thing, I guess. And I guess that kind of leads me into the first series of questions. Kind of the main topic of today's episode is the expectation and reality of the Avalanche. So obviously right now, Britt, the Avs sit first in the league still, first in the conference, first in the division at 24-2-7. Okay. That's
Dallas
nuts.
Is right behind us. It's ridiculous.
Dallas, yes, they're right behind you, but 6 points behind you, right?
Yeah.
And you have a game in hand against them.
Okay, we do have a game in hand. Okay. Yeah.
So right now they're kind of on the same trail as Boston was a couple of years ago, where they were just winning. They didn't know how to lose. Right.
So are we outpacing them for that season or no? Because I was going to look.
We're on pace. I don't know if we're outpacing just yet,
okay.
But if we continue to keep winning like this, then yeah, we're going to outpace them. I think they said by like end of March or something like that.
Yikes.
Anyway, so my question to you, Brit, and obviously to the rest of you that are watching, what is your expectation of the Avalanche as we sit, and what do you think the kind of the general public's expect? You got me?
You're breaking up on me here. Yep, I can hear you now. Our expectation and the general public's expectations for this year. My expectation, and I guess like my I'm trying to think of the word. I feel like winning the conference is absolutely necessary. And anything lower than that it'll be considered a failure, because when you consider that the top 3 teams in the league right now are all in our conference, we need to give ourselves every advantage humanly possible. And the priority of those is winning the conference, having home ice, starting the first round off with a slightly easier matchup, because there's no free passes in our division. Straight up, there's just not. So I think that I expect them to win the conference.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to see them win the President's Trophy and break that curse. I'd really just like to see them do that.
Sure. And then as far as like the public eye, well, how do you think the public is viewing the expectation for the Avalanche as it sits currently? Cup favorites?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the public is so absolutely astounded by how dominant they are that they just I truly think that everybody thinks that they're going to cakewalk to the cup for the most part. There's just, other than Dallas, and it's a shame that we're probably going to have our Stanley Cup in the Western Conference Final. That's probably going to be the real Stanley Cup this year. But I've never felt the general public so on board with believing that the Avs are as good as we've known that they could be or should be.
Sure. No, I totally agree with what you said. As far as my answer to the expectation, I think I'm right there with you, Britt. Like, it's conference final at the very least, based off of how they've been putting these teams up and down, running the gauntlet. I mean, just they've been stacking together wins, whether large or small. They're still getting the wins. They are finding these ways to do it. So I think
for them to not make the conference final, there would have to be a catastrophic bed shitting.
That's my thing too. Is I don't want them to kind of go through what Boston did.
Right.
Where you win this President's Trophy in the most dominant fashion. I think they only lost 12 games, not a lot.
If we could not make it to conference final, I would have to assume that there is either a serious injury bug, or that our goalies completely dropped the ball, and that's frightening. That would be a very scary future, hopeful.
Yep, you're exactly right. And so I agree with you there. I think make it to the conference final. That's the very, very least. But you're exactly right when you also said that conference final is basically going to be a Stanley Cup, because the top 3 spots in the league currently belong to 3 Central Division teams: the Avs, Dallas, and Minnesota. More on Minnesota in just a second. But I think the public's expectation is exactly with what you said. They're going to win the cup. And honestly, it would not shock me, because if you're that dominant, similar to how the Avs were in the year they did win the cup, they swept through the postseason. They only lost 2 games that postseason, right?
And I mean, if you're just a casual NHL fan that just catches highlights and stats of the Avs, I mean, it would be hard to not see them as anything other than absolute maniacs. I mean, it would be hard to see when they would ever slow down, because we really have only had bad streaks in the form of like a period here and there. We have not, very rarely have we had a whole game that was bad. Our highlight reels are otherworldly and abundant.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of move on to the reality side of things. So in reality, do you believe the Avalanche will meet your expectation? Or I guess I'll answer my own question first. So my reality is this, that the Avalanche are putting together all these wins. They're going to be great in the regular season, but something happens in the postseason. That is my reality check, if you will. Do I want it to happen? Of course not. Duh. But
my biggest fear is a Landeskog re-injury. To me, that's one of the most likely season derailing things.
Yep. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you did so freaking well in the regular season. That's all fine and great and good. But as Boston proved a couple of years ago, it really doesn't mean anything if you are not advancing, in the first round. So that's kind of my new thing. It's like, well, the Avalanche are showing that they're great, they're this, they're that, and the other, but playoffs, they are a different animal, despite the, even though you're playing a second wild card team and on paper you should sweep them and blah, 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 blah.
It's a big motivator for teams to overcome a team.
Stranger things have happened.
Sorry, you're breaking up, so I'm not sure if you're talking right now.
Oh, no, sorry. Did I drop out?
Historic career or season, excuse me.
Sorry, when did I drop out? I'm sorry.
Okay, there you're back now. I can't even remember.
Okay, so basically it's just, I don't want a recreation of what happened to Boston.
Yeah. Well, and I was just asking, was it the Avs that ended Winnipeg's historic season 2 years ago? 1 year ago? Was that last year?
That was. They beat Winnipeg, lost to Dallas. Yeah.
I mean, that proves that a historically winning team in the Jets was beaten by a battered and floundering Avalanche in the playoffs. I mean, we were as bad as we've ever been since winning the Cup. So, I mean, it's a big motivator to have a team that is riding so high that they might come in and maybe not take it serious enough, or have the motivation of proving people wrong. Like we've talked about many times before, a chip on your shoulder is a very big motivator. And if we keep playing this well, we might go in just a little too lackadaisical.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe I was actually 2 seasons ago, because it was Georgiev. Okay. We had still Georgiev that postseason.
So. Oh, God, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so that's kind of the question of the expectation and the reality of the Avalanche as they currently sit. Obviously, making the postseason is not going to be the issue. And as you know, as far as being on pace is concerned, of being in first place in the division President's Trophy, maybe not even that's going to be an issue. But it's about what happens in the postseason that it's like, that's where you really need to check your, reality to be like, okay, you've shown that you can do this through 82 games, but what about 4 really intense games right now against the same team? Right.
And I do have a lot of faith in this team. This is a team that our big boys, they've won cups, so they know what it takes. They're not that amateur, you know what I mean? The young group of guys that doesn't understand. The ones that are important have done it before. So that I do think that there's value in having players and vets that have gone all the way.
That's right. Okay. Now, speaking of the Central Division, it just got more difficult, as if it couldn't already.
So rude.
Over the week, Quinn Hughes gets traded to the Minnesota Wild. in exchange for Zeev Bouillon, a first-round pick. I can't remember who else. I just lost it. But two more players.
Kulikov? Is that what it is?
O'Brien was one.
Kulak?
No, it wasn't Kulak. But anyways, it was 3 players that went back to Vancouver, as well as a first-round pick. And Minnesota, all of a sudden...
No, I'm thinking of the Oilers trade. Sorry.
No, you're good. Is a team to be reckoned with, right? Minnesota has already gone and put pretty much all their chips on the table, saying we're going for it because they have
their goalie is otherworldly right now, and they have officially put their chips on the table. They said we're gonna, even if they don't re-sign Hughes, they're basically saying we have 1.5 years to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep, they're really putting it all on the line. And that the trade itself, again, Hughes getting traded from Vancouver, I don't really say like it came as a surprise, but not necessarily a shock.
He had said that he wouldn't be resigning with Vancouver. And
as soon as that came out, I was like, he's not making it to the end of the season. Now I thought he was going to be trade deadline kind of stuff, but nope, Vancouver said screw it.
I mean, honestly, it's the exact same thing as the Rantanen trade is really what it is.
It really felt like it.
Yeah.
Where it just felt like stuff wasn't coming together. And so Vancouver just decided to kind of get as much as they could out of him at that time. And Minnesota.
And it's a solid haul for Vancouver. Bouillon is actually a Musketeers boy. So I'm excited to be able to cheer for him now.
Oh, is he?
Yes. Super. He has a brother also. So I'm pretty excited about that. It sucks because Mac and I are both Hughes lovers. So sorry, I have the hiccups. It hurts my heart to see him go to Minnesota. But if I'm being honest and putting my hatred away, some big balls from Minnesota making this trade, and I really respect it because they've been nothing but boring for the last 10 years, and signing Kaprizov and then watching their goalie go off and just putting their balls on the table. I think it's pretty cool. As much as I don't love them, I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of my issue with the trade is who Hughes went to. It's like you couldn't have done any team in the other conference. Just send him to New Jersey, have him join his brothers. But,
I think that he's going to go there in a few. I think when this contract is up, I think he's going there because they made it apparently very far in negotiations. The Devils simply couldn't clear the cap space, like the literal dollars on the roster, and the problem is they have too many no trade clauses, so they couldn't move Dougie Hamilton. They could.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
interesting.
He'll be there, and I will be a very big Devils. They will be my very solidified number 2.
And my wife's worst nightmare will come true. And so I guess everybody wins except for Allie. Poor thing.
As a Rangers fan, that's kind of the theme lately. So
it does kind of follow a pattern.
Game.
Sorry, say that one more time.
They love him. So it's nice to see him absolutely worshipped because I don't think he's been having a lot of fun lately.
I mean, yeah, hard to say, especially when you're a last place team like that. And I can't help but wonder if they're not done trading, to be completely honest, just pawning people off.
Isn't it insane? They made it to did they just make it to the conference finals? Was it 3 years ago? Or did they didn't make it to
2 years ago. It was the first.
They were 1 goal away from beating Edmonton. Yeah, 1 goal away. They took it to 7 games, and now they are. I mean, I think that they're going full rebuild, don't you suppose?
It sure feels like it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not fun to be in a last place spot. I mean, you can ask San Jose, who, by the way, what? But you can ask San Jose that being in that type of position is not fun because when you do have the good players, eventually they get sick of not being on a good team. and so they'll be like, and it's wrong place, wrong time, and it's when your window is, and all this kind of stuff. And this is just one of those things for Vancouver, that this might be it, that they're just going to have to accept the fact that they're going to rebuild.
It's been forced by basically a class of personalities, though. I mean, really, when you look at the roster that they had when they had JT Miller, if Demko could stay healthy Demko has kind of been a big part of the demise of this team. He is such an incredible goalie, but he is never healthy. It's honestly, it's such a shame. But the JT Miller, Pettersson, I mean, who knows if we'll ever be able to say whether they made the right choice there or not. But that essentially ruined their team, is just dudes being crybabies.
Yeah, I think you're right. So it just gets more difficult for the Avalanche. The Central Division gets more stacked, and it's just you're supposed to do against any. I really say this: any Central Division team, even if it's the lowly St. Louis Blues, they're still dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, it's just top to bottom.
They don't show up until the end of the year.
Yeah, it's like top to bottom, any Central Division team is going to give you problems. Like, I don't know how else to split it. Anyways, speaking of Central Division, we got 3 of them coming up this week for the upcoming games. How about that? This is going to be a 12-point swing, potentially, against the Jets, the Wild, and the Mammoth. So
it's a serious test. I mean, this is like a very pivotal. I still have the hiccups. I'm sorry. I don't understand how I always get hiccups. This is a season. I don't want to say make or break, but it's really gonna. It's like a put up or shut up moment. You know.
Yep, you're exactly right. So let's talk about these games here. Key to the game for the Jets. Friday, as in tomorrow, at the time of you watching this, as it comes out, December 19th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. This is a home game, so it'll be at Ball Arena.
Hellebuyck is back. I believe Hellebuyck played in the game last night. So
I believe you're right. Key to the game with Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg is an interesting case, at least this far this season. In that they are 6th in the division.
Yep.
Because so kind of how the division is right now, it's Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, and those 3 are actually at the top of the league, right? It's literally them.
They're their own.
They're kind of in their own bubble. It's like, I don't think those 3 are going to be dropping unless something drastic happens, right?
It's just a position fight.
And then there's Utah, that sits kind of right on that cusp where it's like, if they put together some wins, they could kind of creep up against Minnesota, but they're also not dropping.
I haven't figured out if Utah is quite there yet, or if they're still just not.
So again, it's like they're still a fringe team. They'll be wild card by the end of it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
But then there's another little gap, and then it's literally St. Louis, Winnipeg, Chicago, Nashville, all in a 3-point blanket. So it's like, that's kind of how the division sits. It's literally the top 3, the Mammoth, and then the bottom 4. Like, it's
but the thing with Winnipeg is they separate themselves in having a goaltender that can essentially stop all the goals. And I wouldn't even be surprised if at some point he just scored some goals on his own. He is truly a game-changing, game-breaking. He's a wild card always, and he's well rested after several years of being overplayed over and over again. So, I mean, we better not be trigger shy come the Jets.
And that, but you are correct, I will say. However, my key to the game is actually pointing in the other direction. It's against Winnipeg's offense. The last couple of games, they have not generated very many goals, and if they have, it hasn't been at the best of times, and it's become, kind of a desperation heave for them. So my kind of key to the game is obviously for the goaltending to stay solid. That's one thing. But I kind of feel like if you are able to get, what do I say? If 3 goals, if you go up 3, I'm kind of safe. That's kind of where I'm thinking with Winnipeg.
And it'll fall heavily on our goaltenders to keep the score down so that we only have to score a couple.
And I think that's exactly the point, Britt. You're exactly right. Is if everyone's playing solid, if everyone's playing how they need to be, you already know that McKinnon's gonna get a goal. Natchez is gonna get a goal. Nelson is gonna get a goal. It's kind of like clockwork at this point. I just feel like if you're able to get through the first period up 2-0 or something like that, you're scoring early, scoring often, as we always say.
Down the court.
I kind of feel like the rest of the game will kind of sort itself out. I just don't see Winnipeg having that sudden resurgence of offensive firepower that I know they have.
And they just don't really have the vibes this year either. They don't have a whole lot of good feelings surrounding them, that you can kind of, once they get going, they're emotionally not getting a lot of momentum lately.
Yes, that's exactly right. So that's my key to the game is to keep their offense suppressed, to keep that momentum still with the Avs, away from Winnipeg, I guess is the better way to put it. And I feel like based off of the potency of the Avs, the firepower, the depth, the danger, all that kind of stuff, I feel like if you get to 3 goals, it's probably yours, but at the same time, don't take the foot off the gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's the reassuring part of having so much depth production is it's nice to know that if McKinnon doesn't show up, which he's done at nights, we've seen Makar struggle quite a bit this year, really. It's nice to know that we're not desperately praying that, one person shows up or the game is lost. It's anybody's game really to take on the Avs. You never know who's going to pop off.
Exactly. Following game, the Avalanche go to Minnesota to play the Wild. That's Sunday, December 21st, 4 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. My key to the game, Britt,
I want to go.
Is probably don't play from behind.
Yeah.
Don't lose a lead. Don't even let them tie it up.
We can't let him get hot.
You can't. And if that's what it takes to still, just play with the lead. Don't play from behind, because you got lucky last time to send it to overtime and ergo shootouts.
Yeah.
You had to tie it up late. Yeah. But don't make that same mistake twice. Learn from it.
The more games that we can get in the habit of taking it early and then getting on cruise control, like an actual cruise control, not a nose diving and letting the game go like we've done quite a few times this year. It'd be really nice to see us start developing more of a controlling the game with less effort. You know what I mean? Not having to work so hard.
Yes.
It would be really reassuring to see us getting in that habit just a bit more.
Yes, you're exactly right. And so, again, urgency, all 60 minutes. And it's, again, this one is going to be a marquee matchup, kind of a bar. I know you are the bar as the Avalanche, but it's one of those,
Their fans, they're so jazzed right now with Quinn. I mean, it's going to be a loud build.
They are going to come in with so much extra motivation. Like it's going to be nuts. Yeah. But
they have a lot of good feelings around that team right now.
Yes. But at the same time, you have proven 24 times
you are the best team in the league.
Exactly. Now, you are the best team in the league for a reason. So there's kind of a little opportunity to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
So
I think it's one of the most important games that we have played and will play this season. When you look at this point in time, considering the trade, they just got their trade. They're looking to tell the world now with Quinn Hughes, we are unstoppable, and we need to show them it doesn't matter. Even if Connor McDavid's on your team, we're still better.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Because they're looking to establish dominance. So it's going to be a huge, huge, huge statement game.
There's a lot riding on the game, not just by points, but by kind of
emotional
attitude. Yeah.
Yep.
You're exactly right. So after that game, the Utah Mammoth come to town, and that's Tuesday, December 23rd, 7 p.m. Mountain Time puck drop. This one, a little Rocky Mountain Rumble going on, newly fledged rivalry. This one, however, is going to be so hard to predict because
is that in Colorado?
It's in Colorado. Yep.
Okay, that's a bummer. You're not gonna go.
It's. I don't know how to put this, Brit, because the Mammoth are winning as many games as they're losing. Right?
They're so weird right now. They just lost. What's his face hit the net? What's his name?
Logan Cooley.
Man, what
and he's out. Yep, and he's out until end of December, or excuse me, January.
That looked brutal.
Yeah, it was not good, and yeah, all of Utah, all fans kind of took a big sigh of disappointment when we got that news. So
he just has
but the odd part about the Mammoth at this current time is just that they're losing the games they're supposed to win. They're winning the games they're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
So by that logic, this feels like it should be a trap game.
Absolutely.
And it's just strange because the obviously, the first time around, the Mammoth won that game in overtime.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least, was that the one that they did, or was it the second game? Whichever one I went to, and I got disappointed because they lost.
I'm not even sure, but it feels like every game against them is just dumb.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So the Avalanche, okay, they won the first game 2-1, so it's going to be close. Then they lost the second one 4-3 in overtime. So again, I don't expect this one to be a, Utah lies down, you can skate past them. No. It's these games
to completely adopt the Coyotes' ability to just
makes sense. I mean, it's their roster. It was their old team, so I suppose that would make sense.
But for 10 years,
it's exactly right. Where it's just like it doesn't matter how dominant you've been.
No, they've got
most of these games will always go down to the wire, and or you get caught with your hands in the cookie jar. Yep. And I think that's my key to the game is you need to end that kind of
play like
bad tradition, so to speak.
Play
if the Mammoth are hurting, if they're on this losing slope, don't let them become the uptick. You know what I mean? Like
God, I swear we have been like single-handedly the one to send them back into like being a functional hockey team again in some of their darkest.
Right. And that happens with a lot of teams when they play the Avs. At least it was last season, I should say.
We're the Blackhawks,
exactly, where it's like these teams would come in losing 3 games in a row, and then they'd spank you, and then all of a sudden the very next 7 games they'll go ahead and win. So that's my key to the game.
7 games a year, and 3 of them will be against the Avs.
Yep.
Even in the Stanley Cup year.
That's exactly right. So that's my key to the game, I think, is to just keep the momentum on your side as much as possible, because Utah does thrive a lot off of momentum. And so I would probably say to keep that trend, you got to keep momentum.
Yeah, I think you're totally spot on there, because they're not lacking in talent or energy or crowd affair. They have it there. It's just the execution that they struggle with, and somehow we power it on.
Exactly. And it doesn't help that now Karel Vejmelka has the most wins in the NHL for a goaltender.
I swear to God, he's been around for like 65 years, and suddenly he's just found his game.
It certainly feels like it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he did just pass Scott Wedgwood for most wins.
But I like him. Good for him.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Okay, so that's going to be my my key to the game for this for the Mammoth and the upcoming 3 games against Central Division opponents.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy, this is going to be one heck of a week.
And then Christmas times, like just get through Christmas, and you can drink your eggnogs and do all your things, but just get through this. Don't shut it off early. Like, I don't think that we have a team full of partiers that are going to check out early, but I really hope that we can keep it hot until after Christmas and not go into that break in a low, you know what I mean? With a low.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of move on to the last little section of our show, the hockey hits of the week. For those of you who are new, Brit and I select one song that best reflects how we think the week went, and we share it with you guys so that you can give it a listen on Spotify or Apple Music, however you want to listen to it. And we try to give explanations as to why we picked whatever we did. But for me, this one is going to be pretty simple, pretty easy. It's 3 wins. It's 3 opponents. 3 of them handed a nice little L there. So my song for this week is Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust."
Oh my God. Why
just because you're just picking them up and rolling them down. You know what I mean? 2 regulation losses, 24 wins. I mean, you're just kicking butt and taking names. So for me, it's Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust."
My song is Queen's "Can't Stop Me Now." Don't stop me.
No way.
That's so funny. I see our minds in the same places. So yeah, we're just gonna keep on sending them down to the ground, killing them, biting the dust, and don't stop us. That's so funny. But
no one can stop us.
I mean, Queen's never gonna be a fail. Yeah, Queen is always that's always a vibe, no matter if your team's good or bad or anything. Queen's always.
Oh yeah, you can never go wrong. And how about that? We both picked Queen for the week. And by the way, like, we don't plan these ahead of time and share them. Like,
I totally forgot that we were gonna do it like throughout the show because I had thought about it earlier, and that's what I picked, Queen. And then when you brought it up, I was like, oh yeah. So that's funny.
Yeah. So that's pretty good coincidence. It means that it's 2 good co-hosts. That means there's that cohesion. That means that there's cohesion. Yep. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of the Cluster Puck Podcast. Again, if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. With that being said, enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas. A Happy New Year.
Christmas is next Thursday, or is on our next
Christmas is in a week from today. New Year's in 2 weeks from today. We'll figure out how, because obviously we won't be doing episodes those days. We'll figure out kind of what we're going to be doing. You know, maybe we'll do
explode if we don't talk about these games before.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out. But either way, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, go Avs, go.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.